It's a pleasure to have you here today. And it's super amazing that every single one of you have joined us really, really, really in time. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you and we're sincerely glad to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the 2025 edition of the Pan African Youth Leadership Training. I really, really want to know where in the world you're joining us from, where in Africa you're joining us from. So put it in the chat box. I want the chat box to pause. What do you do? What's your name? And where exactly are you joining us from? I want to see comments, so many comments in the chat box. I'm not seeing any comments yet. What's your name? What do you do? And where in Africa or where in the world are you joining us from? Let's see your comments. I am joining you from Lagos, Nigeria. So I really need to see. Yes, I can see our first speaker here, and she says that she's joining us from Johannesburg, South Africa. I can also see Ola Williams. He's joining us from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Really amazing, really amazing. I need to see more people. We need to know how many people are here today and the range of people where in the world they're joining us from today. So let's see more people. Let's see more people. Remilekun Cole says, I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Are we just three on this call? What's good? Are we just three people on this call? Because that's what it's looking like. Where exactly in the world are you joining us from? What is your name? What do you do? And where are you joining us from? I need to see more comments. I need to see the chat box buzzing. I can see a lot of people in the, but I can't see anything in the chat box. Are we ready for this session? Are we ready for this training? Ladies and gentlemen, I need to see your comments. I need to see your contributions to the chat box. All right. Once again, you're super, super welcome to the 2025 edition of the Pan-African Youth Leadership Training, brought to you by the Pan-African Youth Leadership Foundation. Today is going to be a day of transformation. It's going to be a day of excitement. And I'm super excited, actually. I'm elated, if you can tell, that you are going to be transformed today, because we're going to be listening to a range of business leaders, speakers, entrepreneurs who have gone ahead and they have been able to grow as an entrepreneur in Africa, because that's what we're talking about today. Growing as an entrepreneur in Africa. How have they done it? How can we replicate that success? And how can we even take it several notches higher? The question that we're going to be asking today. But before we go ahead, it's important to know the body, the foundation that is putting this training together for you. And that is the Pan-African Youth Leadership Foundation. We're all about cultivating a generation of transformative leaders and entrepreneurs who have skills, they have the knowledge and the capacity to address Africa's challenges, while also recognizing the opportunities that exist in Africa. So how exactly are we going to take Africa from 0 to 100? That is exactly what the Pan-African Youth Leadership Foundation is trying to achieve. We deliver mentorship, engagement, and recognition to encourage young people to proactively shape Africa's development trajectory. And since the inception, we have hosted over 15 conferences in different countries in Africa. And we have also trained young people in boot camps and sessions like this, while also providing them with grants for their businesses. We recently launched a grant for young African business owners, and we did get a number of applications. So this is something that we are very, very much invested in, and something that we believe is achievable. At PAYLEF, which is short for Pan-African Youth Leadership Foundation, we are focused on building the Africa we want. And we believe that no young person is too young to lead. So we empower the leaders of today, because we believe that you are not too young to lead. That's why we keep empowering young people. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that you are in very, very expert hands. and you are in the best place to be this Saturday morning. You're going to be learning, you're going to be transformed, and I believe that after this session, you're going to go away with a richer perspective to how you can contribute to Africa's development. We have speakers in different parts of Africa, and that's what is even most exciting. We have a speaker from South Africa, and she already mentioned that. We have a speaker from Nigeria. We have a speaker from Tanzania. We have another speaker from the Gambia. We have carefully curated and handpicked every one of our speakers so that you have a range of perspective and you have a range of experience to learn from and to choose from. So we're very, very intentional in specially selecting our speakers and everything they're going to be teaching you to be very expert, and they're very, very apt and capable to teach you today and to share their experiences with you today. So once again, on behalf of the Pan-African Youth Leadership Foundation, I specially welcome you to the 2025 edition of the Youth and Mentorship. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one face and voice that you should not quickly forget today, because you'll be seeing that face and that voice throughout the session, it is mine. My name is Zainab Aderomu, and I'm an award-winning compere. I'm a TV host and broadcast journalist, and I'm super excited to be comparing and hosting this training session with you today. I really want to see, if you can't type in the chat box, I think there's you cannot yet type in the chat box, but I need to see the emojis, I need to see the clapping, I need to see, yeah, I can see the fire, I can see it. Because when we bring up our speakers, they need to know that we are ready for them. They need to know that we are excited to be doing this with them today. Yes, 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 that's the energy that I need you to bring today. So our first speaker for today, and she's already in the room. Our first speaker for today is somebody who is, like I said, we carefully handpicked all our speakers. She's a founder and esteemed CEO of Elick Advisory, which is a Johannesburg-based professional services firm specializing in accounting, tax, and advisory services. And under her leadership, her advisory firm has achieved the distinction of being the first Black female-owned zero platinum partner firm in South Africa. So yes, our first speaker for today is from South Africa. And with registrations as an AGA with the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants and a general tax practitioner, she brings a wealth of expertise to her role. She has served as a member of the Zero Practice Advisory Council since June 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding applause, I need you to welcome the CEO of Elick Advisory in South Africa, Lionel Jonas. Yes, I need to see the clap emojis. I need to see if you can put in drum rolls. You know.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, Zainab.
Thank you so much for that warm introduction. Like, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And good morning to everyone, or good afternoon. I don't know where we are in the world at this point in Africa, but it's. I know that we are an hour ahead of Nigeria, I think, yeah, or behind, I'm not sure, but I know Ghana, there's a 2-hour difference. Yeah, it's really great for me to be joining you guys this morning, and I look forward to sharing more about, I guess, my journey as an entrepreneur. As Zainab said, that I am based in Johannesburg in South Africa. I grew up in South Africa, not necessarily in Johannesburg, but this is where our firm is currently at the moment. So I'm going to head straight into the presentation, because I remember when I was chatting to Adeboale, he was like, you only have 20 minutes, and I'm known for wanting to talk forever because I just have so much to share. But let me take you straight into the presentation, which I'm going to share, and we'll leave the Q&A for, I guess, after I'm done with my presentation. Interesting fact, for those of you who don't know, I have traveled to a lot of African countries, And I have to also say thank you to, Paylef for doing that. It was my first time in Lagos last year in August. I did wear a gele as well, came dressed up, honoring the culture there. I recently came from Accra. I've been to Nairobi. I've been to Togo. I've been to DRC. I've been to Namibia. The only place I have not been to yet is Rwanda, which I know I need to go to, as well as Tanzania. But I love West Africa. I absolutely love it there. And one thing I just have to say about the people in Lagos, the spice needs to be reduced a little bit more. After one spoon of eating ofada rice, I almost thought I was going to land up in hospital. But yeah, I really loved being part of the culture and just immersing myself. And I think one of the things that I've really been fortunate to have in every African country that I've traveled to is that I've always been surrounded by people who live there. So I didn't ever feel like I was a tourist when I did travel to other African countries. And yeah, now it's easy for me when I am in South Africa and I can hear someone speak and the accent, I'm like, this person is from Lagos. This person is from Nairobi. It's so easy. And I always just want to say, like, I think it's very important for us to travel throughout Africa, because when we do travel throughout Africa, we open up our mindsets about what is possible and what it looks like as we embrace each other as Africans. So yeah, let me quickly head into my presentation. Just gonna share my screen. You guys have to let me know if you can see my screen. Okay.
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Great. Okay. So I was given the topic of what does it look like growing your business in Africa? So the format of my presentation is going to focus on our journey as a firm, what it looks like, who we are. And then I want to focus on just 3 things that I think is very important for an entrepreneur to think about if they are running and scaling or thinking of scaling their business outside of the confines of Africa, but also how do you set yourself up for success to be able to trade across Africa and not just necessarily in the country that you are based in. Okay, so this is me. When I am wearing, wigs, this is what I look like, and, full face beat. So I am Lonelle Jonas. As Zainab said, I have over 12 years of corporate experience in strategy, internal audit. I'm an accountant by profession. I've worked in big organizations such as PwC, Liberty Group Limited, and FirstRand Bank Limited. Some of the awards that I've received is the Business Advisory Award at the 40 Under 40 Africa Awards that was in Nairobi. The Africa Entrepreneur and Africa Emerging CEO of the Year. This was at the Africa CEO Summit last year in Lagos. And then I also won the SAICA Top 35 Under 35 Impact Champion Award. That was in November of last year. And in April this year, I made it to the list of the Africa 100, and I was ranked 6th amongst the most influential young Africans for 2025. Not doing too bad. This is just some of the pictures that I wanted to share with you guys. Can you see my gele? I want you guys to see my gele there. I hope you can see it. On the right, that's me in Kenya, and on the left, that's me when I was in Nigeria. A lot of people said to me when I was in Lagos, you look like an Igbo lady. So I don't know. And they also gave me a name, Amaka. So I'm not really sure yet. The verdict is still out. But I do know that I'm not going to answer the most important question. Which jollof rice is better, Ghanaian or the Nigerian? I do not enter into political discussions. We'll keep it back to, the business of the day. So please, in the comment section, don't ask me which jollof was better. I leave that over to you guys to decide for yourselves. This is just a few articles that people have written about me over the last couple of years since I've been running my business. And I just want to take you guys straight into my own journey as an entrepreneur and what our journey has looked like. So, who are we? We are a global professional services firm, and we specialize in accounting, tax, and advisory services. We enable our clients to achieve financial goals, build sustainable businesses, and succeed in their respective industries. Our purpose, why we exist as a firm, we want to create access to financial services, and we want to enhance organizational sustainability by leveraging financial education and reducing costs through technology and innovation. So I've got a little bit of a timeline to walk you guys through our journey as a firm. So in May of 2019, I registered Elite as a company. So at that point in time, I knew that I wanted to take a different direction, right? When I was in corporate still, I think between 2019 and when I eventually left, it was about a 2.5-year period. But I knew that I wanted to do something else with my life, right? I'd spent about 10 years in corporate, and I almost felt like I'd hit a ceiling of growth, knowing that there was a bigger purpose, there was more impact that I could make. Not to take away from the fact that I was doing amazing work within the corporates that I was working in, and I was really impactful, but I felt like my impact was not amplified to the level that I knew it could be. So in the heart of COVID, as you guys can see in July of 2020, I then decided, okay, this is the firm that I wanted us to build. So I already knew that if I was to go into entrepreneurship, I was not going to go into the space and play it small. I was not going to discount myself and say, okay, I'm a female, I'm a person of color, I'm in Africa or I'm in Johannesburg, and because of that, I can't achieve whatever I think I wanted to achieve. So I already knew early on that I wanted our firm to be a global firm. How that vision was going to play out was something that was going to develop over time as I grew in the knowledge of business, as in terms of running an actual business, and also, earning my stripes as an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship, I always say, no one can prepare you for it. Everybody's journey is different. And most often, or more often than not, entrepreneurship is almost like a lonely journey. There are some things that you will feel conviction about as an entrepreneur. And sometimes when you share that conviction or that vision with other people, you'll find that people might discourage you or tell you to, okay, no, I think you're dreaming too big. That's what happened to me. When I said to people, Elite is going to be a global firm within the next 5 years, people were like, well, did you see other people? They took like way longer. And then I realized that if you are an entrepreneur and you are wanting to build a business that is impactful and a business with vision, you're going to have to kind of weather the storm and also turn inward to your own conviction and say, I have a vision for this business. I know where I want it to go. I know the impact that I want to make. And more often than not, you have to follow that voice internally and stick with it, even though even the people closest to you might think that you are dreaming too big or that, it's never been done before, so why you? So as you guys can see, we signed up for the Xero Partner Program. Xero is an cloud accounting software, right? So a year later, almost, in May of 2021, I left my corporate job. I left my nice, comfy salary, and I decided to pursue entrepreneurship full-time. In June of 2021, we established a relationship with Allan Gray, which is one of the biggest asset managers in the world. And we established a strategic relationship with them to host masterclasses. If you guys remember, if I go back to our vision, our purpose, we wanted to create sustainable businesses and we did this through financial education. And our masterclasses was our signature way of saying to entrepreneurs, we are committed to the growth of entrepreneurs and also educating entrepreneurs of what it means to run a sustainable business. In July, we rented our first office space. In August of 2021, we actually had a launch. And I remember a lot of people saying, why are you wasting time to, host an event? And I really believe that for me, when I decided to host a launch, it was a way of saying to people that I'm taking myself seriously and I'm taking this business seriously, and this brand is going to be a global brand. I did not say, oh, I'm just doing this thing and I'm going to be in the dark and I'm going to see how it's going to work. I really gave it my all. Invited guests from Allan Gray, made sure I leveraged partners from people, from brands and group people in the industry that were significant to partner with me. And at the time, I remember people saying, "Oh, you just started this brand. I can't believe that, these big organizations are willing to partner with you." But I really believe that it was because of the conviction that I had within myself that I was able to approach these people and these companies, and they were able to say, "Sure, we'll back you. We love what you're doing, and we can't wait to see how your story unfolds." We then decided to use another software called Sift Analytics. And the reason why I mentioned technology throughout is because we are a firm that's not just about finance and advisory, but we are heavily focused on tech and how we utilize tech to help our clients scale and grow their businesses. In August of 2021, we appointed our first employee. A year later, we then achieved Zero Platinum Partner status. We were the first female-owned business and the only Black-owned firm at the moment in the country that holds this status. So this speaks to like client volume, the number of business that you hold, and this kind of signals to people in the market that you're one of the major players in the market. We then chose to move into new office spaces in Alice Lane in Sandton in Johannesburg. Then I was appointed as part of XPAC. The awards then came in. In May of 2024, I want you guys to also notice something. In May of 2021, I left my job. In May of 2024, I then registered Elite Advisory in the UK. In August, I was in Lagos having my Ofada rice and almost ending up in a hospital. And then in August of 2024, we hosted our first in-person event and our launch in the UK market. Interesting fact that I want you guys to know. When I decided to register this business in London or in the UK, I had never been to London in like ever. So when we had our event in the UK, it was my first time in the UK, right? Why I mention this is because I believe that a lot of the limitations that we have as business owners exists here. The space in between our two ears, right? Because we're situated in Africa, we say, okay, well, I've never been to this country, so why would I think I can do this, right? And it's really about understanding that you don't have to limit yourself through because of what people are saying. I think I've said that before. But also, I find that if you push yourself far enough, life will meet you at that place of your courage, of your belief within yourself and what you are able to do. We're having our next event in August in London. We're going to do it even bigger. But I think for me, that was just almost like to say to me, when I remember when we had the event in London and it was a success, I was like, this was a stamp of approval to myself. It wasn't even about people to say that, Lonel, your dreams are valid and you can achieve whatever you set your mind to, right? This is just some pictures that I want to show you guys. The launch that I had, this was the initial invite that I put out. There are some people over there from Alan Gray. This was the event that we had in the UK. And interestingly enough, the same issues that the business owners have in Africa is the same issues that the guys have in the UK. Same questions. As I mentioned, we're the first Black and female-owned Zero Platinum partner. Here are our awards. We won the Emerging Firm of the Year at the Zero Awards in 2024. And now I want to talk about strategy. So when you are deciding to start a business, it's important for you to have a vision for that business. And your vision, like I said, and the reason why I've kind of like preempted and built up to this moment is to say that you need to have a vision and you need to have a strategy. The vision is where you're going, which is the destination. I want Elite Advisory to be a global brand. I want Elite Advisory to be the preferred employer in the advisory space. And the strategy is how you get there. It's the map. The African opportunity. Africa is not just a continent of challenges, it's a continent of potential. Africa has the youngest population in the world. There's a growing digital penetration and mobile access, and there are untapped markets across sectors like fintech, agriculture, education, and professional services. So let's look at vision and strategy. Like I said, Africa is full of opportunity. Your vision is your why. It defines your purpose and your long-term destination. When I do any presentation, whether I'm speaking to other professionals that are in the same space as what we are in, or whether I'm speaking to the clients that we serve, like business owners, I always say you have to really know your why. A lot of people start businesses and they haven't honed back on the why. Why am I doing this? What is the purpose for why I've started this business? And then what is the vision for it? And then if you have the why kind of solidified, the strategy then flows from it. Then you look for, do I need partners? Do I need tech? What is the type of people that I'm going to have in my business? What do I want the people that are part of this organization? What am I going to look like? I have a friend that is based in South Africa from Lagos, and he has a vision to say that his tech firm has to be the breeding ground for the best Black tech talent in Africa. So he goes out of his way to work with universities to grow Black talent in the tech space and in the software engineering space, as well as making sure that when he recruits in his business, that he recruits only Black talent and the best Black talent, and make sure that he pays them the best salaries. That could just be your vision. Your vision could be that you want to change the narrative for how people view Black talent in the tech space, and to show people that we can build applications and we can dominate and we can influence industries, but it all starts with a why, right? And then important, the strategy is your how. So it's very important for you to make sure that even if you are, and this is something I also want to say, that this is almost like it's not cast in stone. This is something that will change and adapt over time. So your vision will stay the same, but how you go about executing your vision will change at the different parts of your different stages and parts of your business. Without strategy, your vision just remains a dream. Why strategy matters? It gives you clarity, focus, and direction. You can make smart decisions with limited resources, and it allows you to adapt to Africa's challenges, from infrastructure to regulation. And it also keeps everybody within your team on the same page. And it also allows the investors, if you do have investors in your business, to keep them confident. So important questions that I put there to say, who are you serving? Who are the people that you're serving in the market across Africa? Is it different markets? What makes you different? And how will you scale sustainably? We all like to talk about building businesses, but I always say our job as a firm, when we work with our clients, is to make sure that those businesses are sustainable, meaning that it's a business that can employ people, create jobs, but it's also a business that can kind of take care of itself, not something that, oh, I'm just putting on social media, I've started this business, but you've got no revenues, you've got no strategy, you don't know how to execute, you're not implementing technology. It's really about making sure that this is something that leaves a legacy and it can outlive you. If you think about Steve Jobs, right? If you think about Steve Jobs, he created Apple. Even though he's no longer around, his legacy still exists, right? Even if we think about someone like Dangote, right? Dangote's got a legacy, but we know that the day he passes away, that legacy is not going to end. The founder of Access Bank as well. I know, Zainab, you're going to cut me short. I'm almost at the end. It's to say that at the end of the day, right, we need to make sure that we are building businesses that can outlast ourselves, a vision that can outlast our own lives here on earth, right? And then execution. Your strategy must be clear, must be measurable, must be able to build strong teams and local partnerships, Review progress often and stay agile. This is not a document that you create for your strategy and you put it away. This is something that you constantly have to be looking at on a continuous basis. And I put here vision and strategy and grit, resilience equals growth. Africa needs bold builders, and strategy is how you build with purpose, direction, and impact. Zainab, how many minutes do I have left?
Actually, the time is up, but
Can
you
I
can just have a wrap up.
Can I have a quick wrap up? Okay. The last part I want to talk about is finance and tech. So what I wanted to say is what is in your app stack, right? What's important here is one of the things that we've seen, entrepreneurs that implement technology in their businesses outperform and can grow and scale sustainably. What a lot of entrepreneurs do is that they neglect the finance aspect of their business, and they also neglect to implement technology to scale and optimize operations. So I would say in closing, this was just some of the items that I had, but I want to just show you guys in terms of the app stack. This was the app stack that we had, technology that we used in our business before we expanded into the UK. This is what our app stack looks like right now. So as you can see, technology has always played an important role in our business, and technology has always been an enabler for expansion. One of the things I always say, I just want to go back to this slide to wrap up, to say that the most important role that you have as an entrepreneur, as a founder, is the ability to make decisions. You need to be able to make decisions in real time and to effectively manage the risk and the growth of your business. A lot of business owners don't know their numbers. A lot of them are not using cloud technology, and a lot of them are making decisions with uninformed decisions and decisions that are not backed by data. So I would encourage you, if you are a business owner, to explore what cloud technology is out there that's available in the finance space, but as well as other technology that you can use in your business to grow and scale your business. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much. I really want to see the excitement. I really want to see the excitement. You can see a number of clap emojis, love emojis. I can't see any confettis yet. Don't call us and say that their confetti got exhausted because we used it all up on this call. Thank you so much, Lionel. That was really super amazing, super amazing. You know, the part where you talked about how even the people who are closest to you might doubt that your dreams are achievable. They would think that, oh, it has never been done before, so it may not really be achievable. It's not because they don't love you, it's because they are trying to protect you and they're saying, oh, it has never actually been done. Are you sure you can do it? But it's your choice, it's your duty to actually believe in yourself and to push yourself. You know, you said something, you said if you push yourself far enough, life will meet you halfway. So it's important that you take that action. And I'm certain that every single person on this call today has taken note of that. Thank you very much, Lionel. We are actually going to take questions at the end of the session so that we can have something close to a panel where every speaker would be able to answer questions directed to them. So thank you so much, Lionel. Thank you very much. We sincerely appreciate you and your time, for sharing with us, for sharing your expertise, and for sharing your knowledge with us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you now have access to the chat box. Information reaching me is that you now have access to the chat box. So please, you can put in whatever. If you find something really interesting going forward, you can just put it in chat box. But I want to implore you that you should please mute your microphones so that we do not impede, we do not disrupt the call, or we don't disrupt the speech of the other speakers. I have our next speaker with us here in the room. And I want to see the clap emojis already. Even before I introduce her, I want to already see the energy. I want to see the clap. I want her to know that we have been waiting for this day. And this is the day that the Lord has made, because we have been waiting to hear from her. We have been waiting to learn from her. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hello. Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. I can see the claps. Well done, well done, well done. As first speaker, wow, that's powerful. Really powerful. I had to pen down something. You said something. You said decisions that are not backed up by data. That's a big and a very deep information because most of the times we just do things without findings, without getting real data, without getting real facts, and we end up being frustrated. I had to write it. If I'll share my screen, I had to write it and I circled it down because it's also a deep thought for me. So well done, everybody. Let me introduce myself. Yeah.
Just a minute, Dr. Inkem. I know that you're super excited, but let the people know who is in the room today. So I'm going to just do a quick introduction of you. Our next speaker is a renowned CEO, a philanthropist. She's a transdisciplinary speaker and a visionary in the world of captivating spaces. She has a distinguished background in design and a fervent passion for innovation. And she has led a company in the transformation of environments into harmonious works of art. Driven by her unwavering dedication to aesthetic excellence, she breathes life and elegance into both indoor and outdoor spaces, creating uniquely curated environments that seamlessly blend beauty and functionality. Dr. Inkem's expertise and contributions have garnered recognition from prestigious bodies, including an honorary doctorate degree from Tryon Biblical University, Global Extension in the USA, the Niger Delta Recognition Honorary Award in 2022, and the 50 Young Persons of the Year accolade in 2022, and recently, she was recognized as the Delta State Achievers Award in 2023, amongst numerous other entrepreneurship awards. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with the resounding applause, put in the confetti, put in the drum rolls, put in the clap emojis, the CEO of Fresh Starts Interiors Nigeria, Dr. Inkem Imari. You have the floor now, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, so much. I think with this your introduction, I don't think I need to introduce myself again. Oh, like I was saying, the first speaker, she gave me something to think about, and I had to write it down. She said, decisions that are not backed up with data. I'm happy we have good numbers of people online. I can see it's between 80 to 90. And trust me, after today, your perspective concerning business, your lifestyle concerning business, your mindset concerning business will be transformed. Yes, Dr. Inkem, CEO Fresh Start Interior and Exterior Design. Under the design, we have our academy, which is mainly for impact, where we train entrepreneurs with creative skills that bet fortune. I'm super excited to announce that in our course of service, we've been able to train 2,000 young youths who are doing so well in their businesses. They are doing so well. We've trained them in cotton making, painting, POP, all the aspects of interior design. They can literally take a space from scratch to finishing. Most of them, they came in, looking for jobs and asking for, let me use the word we normally say in Nigeria here, permit me other speakers from different countries, daily pay, 2,000 naira daily pay, 2K, Now, these are people now controlling resources, controlling money, So on that part of our academy, it gives me so much joy to literally transform a skill to a payable fortune. Now, I have a topic before me. And I'll be speaking on, 1 minute, please. Growing a successful brand. I'm trying to share my screen. Growing a successful brand. First on my list I'll be very real and very practical on this section because I believe we're here to impact life. First on my list is mindset. If you want to grow a successful brand, if you want to become, if you want to achieve, if you want to revolve, it needs to start from your mindset. Is it okay to have money to start business? Yes. Is it okay to have network? Yes. Is it okay to know one or two persons? Yes. But trust me, you just need to have your mindset intact. Your wealth, your business, your success, everything starts from your mind. If there's a parable that says that if you can think it, you can manifest it. If you can think it, if you can visualize it, you can manifest it. So what goes on in your mindset is a big deal, a very big deal. It has a big part to play in your business. Outside you having a capital, outside you having experience, outside you knowing one or two persons in the industry, your mindset is key. It's key. If you're going to start a business with 1 millionaire and take it to 10 millionaire in the next month and hundreds of millions and thousands, it all begins from your mind. There's a graphic design I did last week, and on my picture, I wrote something very bold from Ugeli. I'm still trying to share my screen. I don't know why it's not. I'm trying to share my screen. Okay, that shouldn't distract us anyway. It says, from Ugeli to the industry forefront. Now, I don't know if sometimes we just sit down and ponder, like, self-thinking. You just think like the think about where you're coming from and now where you are. You just soak yourself in thoughts like, this is me 10 years ago, and now see where I am. Like I said, I'll be very real in our teaching today because I believe it's all about impact. I'm a young girl, or I was a young girl who started from the scratch. If there's any word called scratch, from the scratch, not having money, not knowing who is business, not having any skill, nothing. But I had to tell myself that in this life, I must become. It's you telling yourself, self-awareness. Remember, we're talking about growing a successful brand. It starts from somewhere. There's always a foundation. There's always a foundation. It's you telling yourself. I had to tell myself, in this life, as business in general, I must become. Now we've dealt with mindset. Second on my list is identify your unique value proposition. We are all business entrepreneurs. We are doing well in our business, but it's a question, have we really identified our unique value? Have we really sat down to think about that thing that makes us stand out, that unique value? Have we thought about it? Like I said, I'm an interior designer. I take projects from scratch to finishing. You just come in, pack into your house, and that's all. We do everything, both plumbing, painting, cutting, furnishing. We call it turnkey. We just give our clients the key. Now, I noticed the market is saturated. We have a lot of interior designers in the market, and we're still going to have enough because I train people per minute, per section. I had to think, what will make me different? What will make me relevant? What will make me stand out? What will make me and carve my own nature and personality? What will carve my brand? Then I identified that I have the passion to transform. We have so many interior designers, but they are not interior designers. Yes, some are interior stylists, some are interior decorators, some are interior consultants. Not everybody is a designer. A designer is somebody who takes a project
from scratch. It's a technical part of interior design. Who takes a project from scratch? I need to identify that part. Like, can I really take a project from scratch? Can I work on a dilapidated building? Can I transform a space, an empty space, to a living home? I had to identify it. That's my unique value. I had to identify it to say, okay, this is my strength. Let's see how we can take it from there. Then secondly, is knowing your target audience. I think the first speaker spoke little about it, which is also key for a business owner. You just need to know your targets. Everybody cannot be your target. Whether you're a makeup artist, you are a speaker, yeah, whether you are into anything, a baker, and everybody must not be your target. You need to identify your targets. You need to research. You need to identify the people that needs you. Then we go straight to develop a strong brand identity. You need to, in this time and season where the internet is filled up, you need to identify a strong brand identity. People should know you for something. And when I do my staff meeting, I normally tell my staff that it's not only Dangote that sells cement, but people know him. You need to develop a strong brand identity. How do you develop a strong? By being consistent. You can't be a ghost entrepreneur. You can't be a ghost businessman or a ghost businesswoman. You come online today and the next 3 months you are off the space. No, it's not possible. You are not building your brand. People won't trust you. People won't know you. Remember, we have orders, we have options. Nobody's going to be waiting on your DM nowadays to say, okay, I want to patronize Zainab. It's not possible. If you don't give me what I want immediately, I'm going to the next vendor. You need to build a strong identity. In the journey of building a successful business, there are stages. Life will come to you like a tornado, a hurricane. It's you. Are you going to stay? Are you going to persevere and pass that level? Or are you going to give up? That takes me to the next point. Build a compelling story. Build a compelling story. Like I just said, I started from a city called Ughelli. Most of us will know that place. But let me describe how the place is. It's a beautiful place, but it's a small town. A very small town. Not compared to Lagos, not compared to where I am now because I'm based in Asaba Delta State, not compared to a developing place. It's a small town. Let me use the word village so you can understand. But I told myself, I cannot remain there. I need to stretch. There's so many things inside of me. I need to stretch. People need to hear my story. People need to hear my story through my creativity. No matter how good you are, if you are not heard, sorry, you are not good. You can pen that down. No matter how good you are, if you are not heard, sorry, you aren't good. So I need to build that compelling story like, yeah, I have where I'm coming from. I also know where I'm going to. I can't remain there. I need to go forward. People need to see your story. People need to resonate with you. People need to know you. You need to come out and tell them. In my designs, if you can go through my page, it's Fresh Start Interior _ my designs tell stories. How I can transform churches. How I transform empty spaces into a beautiful modern design boutique, into homes. Sometimes the clients will call us and say, they've had this building for 15 years and they don't know if to sell it off or to renovate the house. I'll tell them, don't worry. I will tell a story with this. And there's no way There is no way I will finish that project and don't tell my story. It's not possible. There's no way I'll finish working with that client and that client won't come back. It's not possible. So building a successful brand, there are stages. There are stages we need to follow. There are stages that comes with building a successful brand. Like I said initially, your mindset. Secondly, define your unique value. Thirdly, know your target audience. You can't work for everybody. It's in this time and season we just want to do everything because the economy is bad. I am a this, I'm that. No, identify your unique audience. Then develop a strong brand identity. When you put out your work, are you a baker? When you put it out, let the world see it. Let them know there's something extra about this woman. There's something extra about this man. There's something unique about this brand. Then tell a compelling story. Share your journey. Share your history. I am not ashamed of where I'm coming from. No. I can never be ashamed. No. If I came from the village, sorry, I'm no longer in the village. Hello. If I came from I am no longer in the village. I am now at the industry forefront. So you have to listen to me. Oh, that's it. That's it. So you share your stories, share your history, share your mission, share your values. That's how to build a successful brand. Then engage with your audience, just like we are doing now. Listen to them, engage with them, feel them, connect with them. Sometimes I go to my inbox and I just start replying messages. Do we have social media handlers doing this? Yes. But I want to feel them. I want to know them. I want that connection. I want to hear from them. You need to engage with your audience. To build a successful brand, you need to create that time and engage with your audience. Then deliver high quality products. Please, it is key. It is key. I know we are in this season whereby we invest little to get, we in fact, we put 1 naira to get 1 million. We just put a penny and it's no, go for the best. Engage in quality services, quality products. It may cost you, but trust me, it will make you relevant in the business world. It will keep you for a long time. People will definitely come back and say, okay, I just need to patronize this man because the last transaction with him, he gave me quality service. Invest in content marketing. I believe we all know that. That's my last point. Invest in content marketing. Like I said, no matter how good you are, if you are not known, sorry, you aren't good. Invest in marketing. You can't build a successful business without marketing. That is not possible. For you to build a successful, you have to market your brand. Market it like no man's business. Show up like no man's business. Don't wait for anybody to encourage you because even the economy is not encouraging. So encourage yourself. Pick yourself up. Tell yourself, show up. You don't get likes on your videos. You don't get followers. My sister, my brother, keep pushing. Be consistent. Invest in marketing. Pay for sponsored ads. Get content creators. If you can't pay for them, then study. Learn how to do these things yourself. What do you really need? Your smartphone, honey. Yes. If you fail today, you won't fail tomorrow. Remember, it's okay to fail in business. If anybody comes to tell you, I had it all good from the beginning, sorry, that's not a good story because I failed so many times. And I'm proud to say it. Yes, because I am in a better space today. So I believe we've picked 1 or 2 points from what I said. And at the end of my section, I'm open to questions. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nkem. Thank you so much. That has been very, very wonderful. I felt like you have so much more to share with us, but because of time constraints, you couldn't really pour everything out to us. Thank you so much. We sincerely appreciate you. I want to see the clap emojis. You can now use the chat box, ladies and gentlemen. And so because we can now use the chat box, I really need us to shift away from the emojis and let's come to the chat box. Let us see that we really got a lot of value from what she mentioned, from her session, essentially. So I want to read your comments. I want to read your, yes, I can see. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, doctor. Thanks. No, thank you. You have to be very expressive and let her know that we enjoyed that particular session. Thank you so much, Dr. Nkem. You kept mentioning that no matter how good you are, if you are not heard, if you are not known, sorry. And I like the fact that you even punctuated it with a sorry. Sorry, I'm not good. So no matter how good you are, it's important that you don't light a candle and then put it under the table. There's no way that it's going to illuminate the room, right? So you need to put a candle. If it's a very bright light, put it out, let everybody see that this light is very bright and that you have this particular value to offer. Thank you so much, Dr. Nkem. We're going to take questions at the end of the session, so we're just going to bring up our next speaker right now. So Dr. Nkem, thank you so much. We sincerely appreciate you for your time and for sharing your knowledge with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just quickly echo before we go ahead that you can put in your comments in the chat box. You can, let's not network now so that we don't distract our speakers. But very, very important, I need everybody to take a screenshot of this particular session at this particular moment. Head on to your social media, preferably Instagram, and then tag Pan-African Youth Leadership Training or Pan-African Youth Leadership. Tag us so that everybody knows that this is what is happening. Let them know that this is something that you're investing your time, your efforts, and your energy in this Saturday morning. All right, let's do that very quickly. Let's do that very quickly. Let's do that very, very quickly in such a short while. I'm just going to read some comments from the chat box. I can see I know her personally and she's amazing. Fresh start to the world. I see, wow, so inspiring. Thank you so much, Dr. Nkem. Yes, yes, yes. That was a very, very inspiring and resonating session. Now we're moving on to the next session, and I not to introduce our next speaker who will be speaking to us on building a scalable business, strategies that work. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, let me just draw up our introduction. I can already see that she's here with us, but it's also important that I introduce her so that everybody knows who our next speaker is. Kindly confirm that you can still hear me, please. I want to know that I'm still being heard, just so that I'm not speaking to myself, because, technology can be very funny. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Perfect, perfect. Our next speaker, although we can already see her very beautiful face, but let's know who she is. So I'm going to do an introduction. She is an award-winning businesswoman and serial entrepreneur. She's an education, research, and business consultant with extensive experience working on various projects across the globe. She's a certified director and serves as the CEO of KOM Group of Companies and is also the director of KOM Food Products. Currently, KOM Group has investment in oil processing, cotton ginning, agro-processing, steel, roofing sheets, plastic, pipe, food, different many industries actually. She's a strong research professional with a master's degree in international business and finance for the Montfort University and a doctorate in business administration from the University of West of Scotland. Dr. Jessica is among the few people who completed her doctoral studies at the age of 27. When I started, I mentioned that we are not too young to lead, you're not too young to do anything. And our next speaker is an embodiment of that particular saying. She has completed leadership development training from Oxford University in the United Kingdom and University, and she has participated in 20 local and global speaking engagements, and she serves as the chairperson of Young Women Entrepreneurs and also a member of Women Power Africa and Women Empowerment Network and Lionesses of Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, now this is the part where you use up Google's confetti and the part where you use up all of their drum rolls, their clap emojis. I can't see anything yet. The ones we are using are not enough. She needs to know that we're excited, we're happy, very, very happy to be here. Welcome the CEO, KOM Group of Companies, Tanzania, Dr. Jessica Hoja Kwabi. Please correct me if I did not get your name correctly. Thank you very much and welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. And thank you so much, Zainab, for that powerful introduction. And also, thank you to the previous speakers, Lanelle and Dr. Nkemi, for the powerful insights. My key takeaway from Lanelle was that you have to have the vision. You have to carry the vision yourself, even if you do not have the support. Yeah. And sometimes this support, we expect support from familiar faces, but as you're growing your business, as you're starting your business, not everybody will support you. So you as an entrepreneur have to carry that vision yourself, know where you're going and put the right strategies in place. From Dr. Nkemi, the key takeaway was know your target. You cannot speak to everybody, yeah? Know your target and make sure that you deliver the right products, the right services. So once again, thank you so much for joining today's training. My name is Dr. Jessica Kwabi. I'm a serial entrepreneur, business research and education consultant. So I'm here today to talk about strategies that have worked to scale the business. Before I go into it, I'll just give you a bit of background about my business and then get into the strategies for scaling your businesses. So at KOM Group of Companies, we are processors, agro-processors, food processors, industrial manufacturers, but as well as traders. So under the agro-processing segment, we process oil from sunflower as well as cotton seeds. In food processing, we produce bread, and this September, we'll get into the milling business where we'll be milling rice as well as maize. Under the manufacturing sector, we produce pipes, steel items, aluminum roofing sheets, steel items. And under the trading sector, we use this wing to import agriculture machineries from China, but we also use this specific wing to export our various products, such as the cotton lints, the oil, to various parts of Africa, but also outside Africa. So scaling a business, yeah, as exciting as it seems, you need to have the right strategies in place. So how can you scale a business? So scaling a business occurs when you want to grow your business, yeah? And for this to happen, you first of all need to have a sound strategic plan. You cannot just wake up in the morning and decide that I'm opening my business in another location or I'm bringing in partners. This has to go with your strategic plan. So make sure you have done your market research very well and let data lead you. You don't just go expanding businesses without having the right data, because with business expansion also comes an additional need for resources, but also an additional resource for more systems that can help you to manage the business that you're expanding. So before you go into expanding your business, make sure you have a sound strategic plan in place that will enable to guide you with your team on how this expansion is going to happen. So several entrepreneurs are able to scale or expand their businesses in several ways. So number one could be that you're operating your business in one location and now you're seeing demand in another location. That demand is the one with your data is the one that is leading you to expand your business to another location. Number two, it could be that to expand your customer base. You've served customers in a particular way, or you are sort of maybe just serving them by them maybe coming to your business, but now they can either now reach you through different platforms. So that's another way of expanding your business. But number three is diversifying your business. This is another way to expand your business, whereas you're offering more than just one product or service. as you would recall from my introduction, I mentioned my business is into several sectors, and we are a highly diversified business. So you can diversify your business by offering various products or numerous services to different customers. But you can also expand your business by onboarding new partners, and this normally happens when you don't have the resources needed to run this business that you're going to expand, or either you bring in new partners to help you either on financial aspects or maybe to capture certain locations. So these are the various ways that you can use to expand your businesses. Now, for a business to successfully expand, you have to have these strategies in place. Number one, you need systems to run your business. Yeah, the traditional way of managing businesses can no longer work. You need to have SOPs in place that enable you and your team members to be able to do your business very well. So as you're starting up as an entrepreneur, you do everything maybe alone, and you are the head of the company. But as you're scaling this business, you need to have those SOPs in place. You need to employ things like ERPs that are able to quicken your operations, streamline your operations, so that you're focused on growing your business. And number two, as you're starting up, you might be the only one doing everything from operations to marketing to sales, or you might have a few people doing that, but you cannot do this alone. So you need a team of experts in different fields, in different areas, to enable you to handle that business expansion. This is quite important, and I repeat this as it's quite important. And I've seen this is where many entrepreneurs go wrong, thinking that without me, the business cannot run. No, the business can function without you, but you need to have right systems and right people in place to help you with that expansion. The business needs to function without your presence. The business does not need to depend on you. And also, with systems in place and the right teams, you are even able to scale more, because I mean, there is so much that only one individual can do, but if you're a team, you can do so much more. And if you have systems in place, you can even do wonders with it. So number three, you need to have resources in place. You cannot just expand your business without having the right resources or the capital for it. And that's where, again, my point on having a strategic plan comes in. You need to ensure that you have the right resources to enable you to expand this particular business that you're looking into expanding in various locations or in various countries, or diversifying your products. Yeah, so this is also quite important. Another important thing is leveraging on partnerships and networks. So sometimes all these resources that I'm talking about, the financial resources, come from these partnerships that you've made over the years. This could be from financial institutions. This could be from your suppliers. Yeah, when you have maintained that good relationships with them, they are then able to come in as resource partners for your business to expand your business further. So for now, that's it for me. I'll leave it to the Q&A to answer more questions from all of you. Thank you once again for having me, Pan-African Youth Leadership Foundation. And yeah, over to you, Zainab. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jessica. Thank you so much. You kept it really short and simple, but also extremely impactful. Anybody that wants to know how to scale their business, so they're already building a business, but they want to scale, it's important that you put in systems that can work. So it's not just, oh, I have to always be there. That's a recipe for burnout, in my opinion. So you have to put people in place, you have to put systems in place that can function and still grow that business, even when you're not available. Thank you so much, Dr. Jessica. I believe there will be questions for you, so we'll take questions at the end of the session. So we're just going to move over now to the next speaker. Let me just check if I believe he's here already. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be speaking to us about transformative leadership and strategic planning. And this is really important because there are some times when a leader comes into the fore and everything seems good, everything seems like they're moving forward. And then somebody else comes and it's the opposite, right? So, what is that thing about transformative leadership and planning strategically that is very, very important? That's what our next speaker is going to be speaking to us about. And our next speaker is the founder of Bliss Executives, a management consultancy dedicated to addressing the business challenges of small enterprises in Africa. He has demonstrated a deep commitment to fostering entrepreneurial growth. From 2015 to 2018, he has served as the support coordinator for Startup Incubator in Gambia, where he played a pivotal role in nurturing emerging businesses. Currently, he serves as the managing director of Chapman Express Financial Services and is also a member of the National Intellectual Property Council of the Gambia. His leadership extends to his role as a board director at the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and he is a fellow at the Chartered Institute of Management and Leadership. His contributions to leadership and development have earned him recognition as a Young Leader of the Year by the West Africa Leadership and Empowerment Center. He is also a Mandela Washington Fellow, having been trained in leadership in business at the University of Notre Dame and undergone a professional development experience at the Penn Center for Innovation at the University of Pennsylvania. He has been recognized as an outstanding leader and awarded as the Leader of the Year in 2023 by the West African Leadership and Empowerment Center, and also named as the most influential global leader of the year in 2023 and included amongst the 100 most influential young Africans in 2024 by the Pan-African Leadership Foundation. I'm not sure I can see the buzz yet. I can't see the buzz yet. I can't see the clap emojis yet. I can't see the confetti. I can't even see any drum roll. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? When I started, I mentioned that we have speakers from different parts of Africa. And our speaker, please welcome the founder of Bliss Executives. He's joining us from the Gambia, David Jeng. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, sir. You have the floor now.
Thank you very much, Zainab. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Thank you for that introduction. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. As Zainab introduced me, so the time is short, so I'll just go straight to the point. Transformational leadership has been something that has widely been, spoken about, and it's a methodology that a lot of global leaders have used, especially entrepreneurs. It basically looks at, as leaders, the ability to inspire people to do what is best for the benefit of the whole group. For leaders, basically, if they want to transform, they have to look beyond, who they are, beyond what they want, but what is the interest of the greater good of the company and the establishment. And in most cases, basically, they do it in a way that is very motivative and in a very passionate way, where they will use their charisma as leaders to help and work with people to achieve the greater good and the goals of the company that goes beyond their self-interest. And transformational leadership, basically, they are the leaders that get most followers. They get, followed by people, and they have people's buy-in in a very, voluntary manner. People willingly submit to their buy-in because they create that common vision that is shared between them amongst all, the leaders that they have and all the employees or people they work with. And you realize that because of that, they're highly respected, and they always ensure that, they're charismatic in the way they do business, and they always use that and motivate and, use that energy in their staff. So you realize that, most of them wonder why, people follow them a lot, but because the way they use their charisma in ensuring that they achieve what they want, not for themselves, but for the company. So you realize that effectively, if you want to be a transformational leader, this helps you in terms of getting much more in terms of performance that exceeds the organizational goals and aspiration. So this is what they do to their businesses, because they understand that their businesses, they cannot run it all. They have big visions, and they know that some of them, even whilst they're sleeping, their businesses has to run, and they are running. So they create leaders who can even do better than what they do. So basically, if you look at their characteristics, they possess a lot of idealized influence, and this helps them to create a lot of role models within themselves. And these role models helps them to drive the vision across not only, one country, but multiple countries, or one location and multiple locations. So they realize that they need to create that trust and respect amongst their peers, amongst their colleagues, amongst their partners, in order to create a good decision for the organization. One thing I can tell you, that we all know, that every transformational leader also is quite an inspirational motivator. They motivate people because they understand that they have to get people connected and committed to the vision of the organizations that they have. And because of that, they inspire a lot of managers, a lot of leaders, and encourage that spirit that they work amongst themselves, wherein they create goals that will ensure that this helps organization in terms of the results that they want from either their revenue or market growth or any other strategic decision that they want to take. And one thing that also it's clear is their intellectual stimulation, how they encourage, basically, especially in most Fortune 500 companies or global companies, how they really encourage the spirit of innovation and creativity, through which they challenge a lot of normal beliefs or views that people have, because they need to challenge the status quo to be able to create products that will transform not only their companies but the world. So they have that intellectual stimulation to promote, creativity, creative thinking, problem solving, and this ensures that the organization becomes better than what they are. And individually, if you look at them as well, you see quite a bit of humility in them. Most transformation leaders I know, that you guys know, you'll see a level of humility of them seeing themselves as an ordinary person within the company, despite their position. And in that also, they act as coaches and advisors, to people they work with, to their associate, because they believe that they want to ensure they see people in themselves. So because of that, they always tend to act as coaches and mentors. And one of the people that I admire very much in terms of transformational leadership is Jeff Bezos of Amazon. And we have seen how much Bezos have been a great transformational leader by rooting a compelling vision in Amazon, not only within Amazonians, but within the world in innovation, because Bezos has transformed Amazon from a bookstore into a global, technology powerhouse. And Amazon, we all know the story of Amazon, so he has consistently articulated a very ambitious vision or ambitious goal, and he inspired his team to transcend, beyond limitation and embrace innovation, that they have changed the way people read books, they have changed the way people buy, and many other things across different sectors. And if you look at the core of his approach, has done a lot in terms of unwavering customer obsession. If you hear Amazon, the models that they use and their strategy, it definitely embodies the customer in everything that they do. So Bezos himself as a leader, speaks a lot. If you watch him a lot, he speaks about how, the company should start, with the customer and work backwards. which is a very, powerful philosophy, in business. You starting from, your customer with what they want, and then working backwards as a company, you realize that that helps in terms of, customer satisfaction. So that's a principle that they use a lot, which helps them to, make customer satisfaction, but it becomes a guiding principle for their strategic decision. So here's one example that, also of how intellectually, he has become, Bezos. I know he doesn't speak a lot, but if you look at most of the letters that Amazon publishes every year, they publish a letter. But if you look at that letter, you realize that the intellectual simulation of Bezos and the culture he creates within the organization, which basically challenges conventional thinking, and he pursues a bold and disruptive idea in innovation, in way people do business, in way people think, and in way the company operates. And you have seen that this has, earned Amazon quite a lot of disruptive innovation, like the Amazon Web Services, the Kindle, the Amazon Alexa also, which I believe most people use. It looks like your Wi-Fi name or password has changed. I'm sorry, my Alexa. I mentioned Amazon Alexa, and my Alexa just was making some noise. So sorry about that. But that shows you the beauty of technology and what they can do. So he also sets an exceptional high standard. He expects a lot excellence in what he does. He's a man of great integrity, great. He loves excellence. And there's a saying from Aristotle that it's a quote from Aristotle which says, we are what we do repeatedly. Therefore, excellent is not an incident, but it's a habit. So he developed that culture of excellence in everything that they do, or they promote, or initiatives that they have, which empowers the teams to take risk, to learn from their failure, and continuously improve everything that they do as a company. He also motivates his employees by ensuring that organizational challenges, and this is one powerful tool that he used. He ensures that Amazon's organizational and operational challenges are seen as a heroic mission. People who undergo the difficult tasks in Amazon, they see it as this is an heroic mission that we have to take to ensure that we bring solutions. And making everybody feel responsible for the company's success takes a great deal of ownership. And we know that taking responsibility in business is quite a powerful tool that helps everyone to be able to do what they're supposed to do, even when they are not told. And he creates that culture within Amazon. So irrespective of, he has been criticized a lot for his, autocratic, execution, but this has made him, in addition, also to be a very decisive person, demanding, accountability for the results that they want to, achieve, and creating a very much long-term, value creation over short-term gain. And he, he has been, very transformational in terms of his leadership. And another one from, the other side of the world, from, mainland China, which we all know about, is Jack Ma. His culture of also fostering a great deal of innovation and culture within the Alibaba, to encourage people to innovate and take risk of their own decision. And everyone know that Jack Ma's charisma being seen as a coach, as a leader in China and Asia, and helping develop businesses, Alibaba Group, across the world. And he has that ability to unify also his employees, his partners, his investors, under a common goal, and a collective effort of shared vision that is created among bringing, in the value of bringing customers first. And he has spoke about it also globally. But you've seen how much he's been a valuable teacher, because he was a teacher before, obviously, but he has been a valuable teacher who encourages a great deal of persistence in advising, in ensuring that they address some of the biggest challenges that they face. So one of the things that we always keep talk about is his customer-centric philosophy in which he uses in addressing challenges. But one thing that was clear about Ma is his ability to go beyond his comfort zone. And I think this is what all entrepreneurs should definitely adopt. You have to have that ability to go beyond your comfort zone, because that is where growth is. If you want to grow beyond doing business across Africa, one thing is, you have to go beyond your comfort zone. So I was given two topics, and I know I have 20 minutes, so I'll just run through the next one, which talks about, strategic leadership. And I think, as leaders and organization, strategy is one thing that really helps us, because it's the process that helps us, to set a clear direction of the business, to ensure that key objectives that are ensure we want to achieve. It outlines how we want to do it, the tools we want to use. It helps us in achieving our goals, especially in most challenging environments. So I know most of the time when we talk about strategic leadership, we just think about setting goal, but it's not just about setting goal. It's also about having that roadmap that helps you to achieve the goals that you want to achieve, whether it is from accessing finance, whether it is from breaking market barriers, regulatory complexity, and infrastructural gaps. One way you can do it is strategic leadership. And for organizations that are set up as a sole proprietor, one of the things you should consider is, having a corporate board, because this is where strategy happens, because you bring a lot of expertise within your board who looks from company from the outside, and they're able to shape the strategic direction of the company. And I think this is one way in which you can definitely move and have that long-term thinking for your company. That's why boards, they provide that support and that rigorous oversight within the company. So this also ensures that there's accountability, because strategy comes with accountability also. In addition, it's also emphasizing modern business in terms of balancing traditional profits and also societal expectations. A lot of ways we do business has changed everywhere around the world. People don't just do business, but from a strategic perspective, they want to make profit, but they also want to consider, the environment, the society, and the governance. And once they do that, because they want to have that long-term vision of doing things. And another aspect of strategic planning is it has to integrate, diversity and inclusion in terms of growth, in terms of the decisions that you make, reflecting how the company wants to proceed, and other also international issues that are being discussed, ranging from, inequality, demographic dividend, youth and women, climate change, and many other issues that are affecting us as a continent, and also as a global village. So effective strategic leadership requires that boards or G-suite, which is the senior management, they ensure that they make decisions that will stand the test of time. So when you make strategic decision, it has to be long-term and it has to stand the test of time, but also balancing innovation, prudent risk management, and transparency, which is very much key in helping organizations achieve. So in a nutshell, I know it's almost time. So just to tell you that in a nutshell, that I've been given the most difficult task. I keep wondering, doing this work around the world, giving me 20 minutes to talk about two topics that in most cases, we take days to discuss. But for doing business in Africa, I think with your businesses now, today, when you do business, you have to look at a continental view, wherein when you make decisions, you look at what is happening in South Africa, what is happening in Kenya, what is happening in Egypt, what is happening in Nigeria, in Gambia, and everywhere across the continent, because the continent is at this stage wherein we have what is called the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. When you do business or when you compete, you don't compete with Nigerians, you don't compete with Gambians, you compete with the entire continent, because the services that you offer, someone else can offer it better from another continent, from another country across the continent, and it can be sold in your country. And that's a perspective that we need to have in making strategic decisions, in leading our teams, in our corporate values, and this helps us to be able to achieve and scale our businesses beyond one country, but across the continent. Thank you very much. Looking forward to connecting with you all during the Q&A, but if not, we can connect after on social media. Thank you. Thank you very much, Zainab. It's a pleasure being here.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. David Deng. Really, really packed, very soulful and insightful session. I can see some clap emojis, but I cannot see any confetti yet. Did we not enjoy that session? If you enjoyed the session, let's let the Mr. David know that we did enjoy that session. I can see some chats in the chat box. Okpayemi says, people don't just do business from a strategic, people don't just do business, but from a strategic position. Yes, yes, yes. You know, I enjoyed the part where you talked about transformational leaders and the fact that they are the most followed leaders. They're thinking of the greatest good for the greatest number of people. So it's not just for this sect or for this caucus, it's for, oh, how can everybody benefit from this particular thing? How can everybody get out of this goal? How can we walk towards this vision for the greatest good of the greater public? That is what transformational leaders or leadership is about. And you really broke it down for us in such very, very practical ways, as well as strategic planning, having a roadmap to your vision, because it's important that you know how you're going to get to where you want to get to. Thank you very much, sir. Very amazing presentation. Let me echo the words of Clement Malala. Very, very amazing presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know
Welcome. It's a
that,
pleasure.
yes, sir. I'm very certain that we would have questions, but let's take our final speaker and then we're going to dive straight into the Q&A. The final speaker for today, before we go on to our final speaker, let me just echo again that we need you to let the world know what is going on in this. You know, it looks small, but it's still global because we're doing this with different people from across different parts of the world, different parts of Africa. So we need you to let many other people know about it. So just take a screenshot very quickly. You can post it on your WhatsApp status, on your Instagram story. You can post it on Twitter. Just post it in any social media that you're on, and tag. You can use the hashtag Pan-African Youth Leadership Training, or you can tag us on Instagram at Pan-African Youth Leadership Training, so that we can also repost your thoughts and your takeaways from this particular session. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are also going very quickly into the final session for today before we have the Q&A. And our final speaker, let me just confirm that we have her here already. I know I saw her a while ago, but I'm just going to do a very quick confirmation. Yes, yes, perfect. So our final speaker has an approach to work and her craft that is steeped in zeal, originality, and devotion. She's an enterprising African woman with a rich 7-year career, and she stands as a beacon of talent and unwavering determination. Her diverse roles have sharpened her acumen in customer service, technology, and entertainment. A Red Dish Chronicles Culinary School certified chef, a chandler, a philanthropist, a former beauty queen, videographer, and food photographer, she infuses brands with her distinctive zest and expertise. She launched Meraki Consortium, which marks 4 years of its unwavering commitment, uniting a team of adept in branding, web design, graphic design, consulting, and market research. And under her guidance, the firm has flourished, carving a niche in the industry. Her leadership has steered the firm towards success with a portfolio that includes You Don't Chop Lagos, Sipit Dressery, Cycle Pro Logistics, and Nulo Lagos. And in addition to her entrepreneurial ventures, she has authored an ebook titled Becoming a Chandler, which details her inspiring journey to becoming a chandler, creating aesthetic decorative candles that add warmth and style to any setting. and celebrating the 7th anniversary of her beloved food company, You Don't Chop Lagos, she continues to delight palates with her culinary prowess in Africa and Afrofusion cuisine. This person is a multi-industry entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding applause, with all the confetti you can muster, with all the energy you can muster, please welcome Ambassador Tambari Genevieve Fade. Hello, ma'am. It's great to have you.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather, so pardon me if my voice is a bit too husky.
So sorry about that. You want to maybe adjust your ear so that
Yeah,
perfect.
I did
Perfect.
already.
We can see.
Yeah. So, I mean, you pretty much said everything. There's no point to reintroduce myself, but I'll just do it briefly. My name is Genevieve Tambari Fade. I am the head chef and CEO of You Don't Chop Lagos. I also own Nulo Lagos, which is a luxury fragrance brand that caters to creating diffusers, room sprays, car diffusers, candles, both jar candles and aesthetic candles as well. We also own a hand care line that caters to moisturizing hand lotion and hand wash. Um, I also run a brand consulting firm, so anything that has to do with branding for web designs, basically just helping small businesses because a lot of people don't know the importance or the power of branding. So that's literally what we do. And just to make like a small correction, You Don't Chop is actually 8 years. We turned 8 this year on the 13th of May. So we've been running our food business for 8 years now. Without wasting much of your time, I'm going to be talking as growing as an entrepreneur in Nigeria or in Africa at large. Um, I would say that growing a business in Nigeria, I'm going to speak on Nigeria because this is where my business is based. I'm going to say that growing a business or growing a successful business in Nigeria is not a small feat. So if you see anyone who as much as sells even a pen or a notepad that has managed to scale through after 5 years, I think you should give that person a pat on the back because it is really not easy through the economic ups and downs. Anyone you see doing business for that long, you need to give them a pat on the back because it's really not easy. I would speak on running a food business because that's the one that I started first. Running a food business in Nigeria, a lot of people would say, and I know a lot of people here would say, oh, there's always money in food business and people eat every day, so you shouldn't have any problems or the challenges shouldn't affect you or the challenges shouldn't bother you because people eat every day. I'm here to honestly tell you that that story is absolutely not true. There are times in food business that no matter what it is that you're doing right, there are still times that you may not be able to get jobs. You may not be able to, cater to everybody or the people who say that you make money so people eat every day. You may not be able to cater to them. There are so many challenges that you would face, from power issues to it feels like you're making money but you're not seeing the money. The money is coming in but you don't know where the money is going to. There are so many issues like that. In food industry, not everyone is privileged or opportune to, I won't say privileged anyway, but opportune to have physical spaces, and it's okay. A lot of food business owners make the mistake of, once they've opened the food business, most people don't even do it because of passion. A lot of people do it because they feel like other people or their competitors or other people are making money from it, so they want to jump into it without having passion. So you find situations where once somebody makes their first million or first 5 million in food business, the first thing they are thinking of is they want to go and open a space or they want to rent a space for their business. But in doing that, they don't think about a lot of things. If you get 5 million naira for your business now, I personally would say you should reinvest it into your business so you can grow. But a lot of people make that mistake. If you rent a space, for people who live in Lagos here, you already know that real estate and prices of renting a space is not a joke. You might probably get a space, maybe a small space for a start, for maybe about 1.5 or 2 million naira. You haven't even added service charge, and you have 5 million naira with you. That money has already gone down. You're going to now have someone come and decorate or do like interior design, because here in Lagos, as much as your food is nice and everything, we all know that people always consider aesthetics first. So even if they're coming to buy water at your place to drink, your space has to look really nice for people to come to. If your space is not nice, people won't come. You're going to spend money for that. You're going to spend money buying the equipment. You're going to spend money doing your packaging. You're going to spend money for overhead, at least to make sure that your staff or your workers have their salary covered for the next couple of months. By the time you're done with all of that, you realize that 5 million naira is actually a small amount of money. So that's the mistake a lot of people make. When I started You Don't Chop, I started You Don't Chop from my house. I still run from my house, but I took a different path anyway. I started running You Don't Chop from my house. A lot of people will say that you always need to be ready or be prepared before you start a business. You necessarily don't need to have everything figured out. Just start. But treat your business as small as it is. Treat it as a brand. Don't treat it as something that, oh, you're doing within your spare time or your leisure because you want to make money. That's one point I would like to drive out there. Another point is always invest in your craft. Even if you feel like you've gathered like 6-7 years experience, no knowledge is a waste. I would always pay for more courses, or try to get more knowledge on whatever it is that I'm doing. When I started working from my house, I was taking like, very small orders, and I hadn't even gone to culinary school then. So it's not like I had everything figured out, but I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I enjoy seeing people eat my meals and, get the feedback that they always give. So I would persist and persist. At the time, things were not as expensive as they used to be now. So I would try to make sure that everybody could afford my meal. So I would make sure that my pricing was right. I wasn't selling at a loss, but I also wasn't overcharging my clients. So I started small with simple packaging and branding, like the essentials that you would need in food business. And then it started to grow bit by bit. Another point I would also try to drive is, don't get tired of speaking of your business. Yes, we know that there's social media, but I will forever be a fan of word of mouth. You advertising your brand and speaking about your brand is better than what any social media or anything can do for you, because you have the information firsthand. You are marketing your business on the spot. You are telling people, okay, yes, this is what I do. This is what it is. Even if you don't have the experience for it, if somebody even offers you a job on the spot, say yes, you can do it. Even if you can't do it, take the job and say you can do it. It's left for you to decide, okay, do you want to subcontract this part of the business that you cannot do to someone else? That's part of how you grow as well. So I started like that, and then I went to culinary school to get more knowledge, and then I rebranded my business. Now, rebranding is, I'm realizing that I'm growing from the stage that I was where I first started. I'm realizing that a lot more people are getting to find out about my brand. So I need to make some changes, needed to do like a proper menu. I now started catering for events. Now, catering for events is an entirely different ballgame altogether. Catering for events will mean that you need to have staff, you need to have, a lot of things put in place. Now, another thing with business owners is they feel like, because they treat it as a small business instead of a brand, you feel like you would do everything on your own, or you can do everything by yourself. That's just going to cause a lot of burnout, which a lot of entrepreneurs face. You're going to be burnt out. You're going to have creative block. You can't do everything by yourself. And this is something that over time, I'm also learning by myself, to know that you cannot do everything by yourself. So you have to delegate at one point or the other, which is also part of growing your business. You really cannot do it by yourself. Even if, yes, you want to still be on the sidelines watching what your people are doing, but try to delegate. Get a manager if you can. Get a personal assistant if you can, that can help you, delegate and put one or two things in place. For your books as well, get an accountant. I'm speaking on burnout and delegating because I learned it the hard way. Running business for that long in this town is not easy. You're going to deal with dispatch issues, delivery riders, eating customers' meals. And as a business owner, you have to just maintain some form of calm, and it will still come from your pocket. You're going to have to replace that meal to the customer while you're still trying to chase the company that is responsible for the delivery. You're going to face delivery issues. You're going to face customers who are very rude, who are very disrespectful, especially the females. If you're a female running a business, men are a little bit more understanding, but females are actually very disrespectful and very rude. So you're going to deal with issues like that. You're going to deal with disrespectful workers. Your workers may not have regard for you, especially if you employ someone who is way older than you. You're going to have situations where they feel like they are too big to take instructions from you, or they're too big to take corrections from you. You're going to face a lot of that. But as a business owner, the only thing I would say is just put your business in the hands of God. God is really the only person that can see you through with all these challenges. I went through all these things. I had a health scare last year because I was burnt out, even though I had workers, because a lot of people will say that I'm close to being a perfectionist. I was cooking in December for Christmas events, and I suffered a partial stroke. I was literally heading to the hot fire in front of me with food because I didn't realize that my blood pressure was high. I did not realize that I was dehydrated. I was exhausted, but I didn't, my body was shutting down, but I didn't know. And maybe if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have realized that I needed to rest and let people do stuff. And I took a break, and I realized that things could actually run even without me, inserting myself so much into it. Business was actually still going on the way that it will go. On the part of dealing with customers that are very troublesome, another thing I would say for growing your business is, no matter how small that you think your business is, treat it as a brand. And one way you can also treat your business as a brand, aside from getting managers and an accountant, invest in a lawyer. No matter how small, even if you have a friend that is just a lawyer. Customers are very ridiculous. People always want to use power to oppose you or oppress you because they feel like you don't know your rights. I had an issue with a client 2 weeks ago. Thank God that I actually do give receipts and invoice to people, even if you're buying a bottle of juice from us. She mixed up her order, or she didn't go through her invoice, so she sent the police to arrest me in my house on a Sunday, thinking that I won't know my rights. She didn't think I was going to get lawyered up. She was trying to oppress me, sending the police to my house for a case that is completely civil, and that the police had no say in that. The police came to my house in mufti, no official uniform, no invitation letter. You just send people to come and pick me, like I won't know my rights. So then I called my lawyer. My lawyer is saying, no problem, since this woman is trying to do this, we already know that this is not a case that involves the police. This is a civil case. But since you want to oppress, no problem, send us an invitation letter and we'll come to your office. If you cannot send us an invitation letter, unfortunately, we're not going anywhere. Imagine how many business owners that don't have lawyers and don't have who to advise them or what to tell them in situations like this. There are so many people that are locked up in prisons or police stations over a very simple civil case, but because somebody has influence and somebody has power, they want to oppress you. So I would highly advise that you get a lawyer for your business, or at least have a lawyer friend who would advise you to save you from a lot of drama like this. I don't want to take too much of your time. I wrote some points down for things that I believe that has helped me grow in my business. Number one is to start small, but be serious. You don't always have to have it all figured out when you are starting a business. Your business is only as serious as how you dream it to be. Even if people think that you are crazy for the things that you're thinking in your head, no problem, just do it. Just go ahead and do it. Try to adapt fast is another thing that I would say. Just because the economy is shaky and things are getting expensive, you're already panicking and like, oh, my business is not going to thrive through this economic system. No, adjust. If it means that you have to increase your price, you increase your price. As much as it's something you're passionate about, it's also a business that puts food on your table. It's also a business that pays your workers. So you adjust your price. Also remembering that no need to overcharge your clients, but don't undercharge yourself. So always try to adapt in whatever situation that you find yourself. Build a brand if you're a food person like me, but not just a kitchen. So you don't want people to only know you as somebody who sells food or sells that book. You want people to know you as a brand, that when they think of, okay, I need to do branding, we need to do souvenirs for Christmas to give to colleagues and business partners, they know that, okay, this person is not just selling us organizers, this person is selling us organizers, but branded organizers that help people. Okay, they're going for events, they need to put this down. Let people remember you for something, not just somebody who just sells or brands organizers. Another point is to also always know your numbers. A lot of people say that they make money from business, but they don't see the money because they don't have rules and things put in place. People don't have separate accounts from business accounts. So you find people running back to their business accounts to go and take money when they need money to do something. A simple trick that has worked for me that I would share, hoping it can work for someone. If you get a job or an order for 50,000 naira, that money automatically goes into your business account. But that entire 50,000 naira is not your profit. Say you spent 30,000, or let's say 20,000 from the 50,000 naira. Your 20,000 naira that you have spent is your cost of production for whatever it is that you're going to make. So you're left with 30. Now that 30 is somehow your profit. Now, not entirely your profit. I would advise that as a business person, you try to open several accounts, maybe 2 or 3 other accounts apart from your business account. So what you do with that 30K is, maybe if you split that 30K into 2, you have 15,000 naira each. Your 15,000 naira can go back into your personal account while you are left with another 15,000. Now with the remaining 15,000, you can choose to put it in a savings account, or you can choose to split that money and put one in a savings account and put one in a spending account. So that way you don't have to keep running back to your business account to keep going to get money. That way you are also saving for your own self. You are sending money back to your business account for the growth of your business, and you are putting money aside too for a spending account that you don't have to always keep going to your business account to go and take. So always make sure that you know your numbers, and that's just from one order. So if you have like 10 orders in a day that cost about 50,000 naira, then do the math. If you feel like this is a bit too complex for you, which I would assume that is very easy, get somebody to go through your books and accounts with you. It shouldn't be expensive to get someone. Another point is to also get a social media manager if you can. Personally, I like to do my own social media thing myself because I know what I want to put out. Hashtags are very important for business. If you're running a business on Instagram, hashtags are important. Don't just post about your business and write a very lousy caption and just leave it there. Hashtags are ways that people can find your business. Another thing is the name of your business. If the name of your business is Payleaf Training Program, for example, the name of your business should be maybe, for example, the best training program in Lagos. You would be shocked that if you go on Google and you just put best, you will find out that some other people have also searched for best training program in Lagos. So what that does is it puts your business at the top of the list of every other thing that they are looking for within training program. The same thing goes to food. If you notice, a lot of food vendors put the best food catering service in Lagos or best food outfit in Lagos. Once you go and search best, you will see a lot of best that come up. But depending on how catchy your name is, that's how it comes in order of that arrangement. So your name is important. How you put your name up there on Instagram for people to find you is important. Using hashtags for your business is important. If you're selling food, hashtag the name of your business, the catering services in Lagos, catering services on the island, food businesses in Lagos, just hashtags like that. Because if you notice on Instagram, there's a section for tags. So that tag that you have used, probably a lot of other people have also used that tag or have registered that tag. So that's another easy way for people to find your business. The last thing is customer relationships matter. Bad news travels fast. The way you speak to a customer, and also to just to clear one notion, customers are not always right. A lot of people say that the customers are always right, but customers are not always right. But it doesn't mean that you should disrespect your customers. You can politely, impolitely pass your information to a rude customer without being rude, if you get what I mean. A lot of customers feel like just because they are paying you for a service, they own you. They don't own you. Your customer is not always right. A customer is paying you for a service. You are a service provider who is rendering a service to that customer. Just because they are paying you doesn't mean that they own you, and it doesn't give anyone the right to disrespect you. Know your craft, know when to say yes, know when to say no. Bad news travels fast. Good news doesn't even travel, or good information doesn't even travel as fast as bad news. Just speaking to a customer with a kind of tone that may not even be pleasant to them, they are going to tell the next person. The next person is going to tell the next person, oh, isn't that food vendor? Oh, she was rude to my friend. I know of her. Her food is not even that nice. Without even knowing if your food tastes nice or not. What that person has done is to spread false narratives about you. But guess what? It will travel so fast you won't even believe it. So try to manage your customer relations. If you know that the person that you have handled or you have appointed to do that for you cannot do it, or then by all means do it by yourself. Do it by yourself. What I would say is entrepreneurship in Nigeria is really not for the faint-hearted, but Nigerians have tried and learned to adopt to what I would call it, we're now used to adapting. We're so used to adapting now that anything that is literally being thrown at us here as business owners, even if we cry today or we say that we are quitting, God knows how many times I've said I wanted to quit my business. But even if you are crying today, crying tomorrow, I promise you see that person as an entrepreneur in Nigeria that was crying, the next minute, once an order comes in, they are taking the order, they are wiping their tears and they are taking the order. So I know that it's not for the faint-hearted, but I know that entrepreneurs are not faint-hearted people. So whether you sell food or you're into tech or you're into fashion, your business can grow. It only depends on how seriously you take your business and how much of a brand you want your business to come out. Always start small, serve well,
All
learn
right.
fast.
Thank you very much,
I'm
Ambassador.
rounding up. Sorry.
Q&A.
Don't give up.
From there.
Don't give up when things get hard, and just treat your customers like kings. And I mean, that's basically it. It's not easy, but we always push through. Sorry for taking so much of your time. Thank you so much. I will take questions once everybody is done speaking. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I can see the clap emojis. I can see, but I cannot see any comments yet. So please let us appreciate Ambassador Genevieve. That was a very, very robust, very detailed presentation. You know, I like the part where she particularly mentioned that you should have a legal representative, because I mean, it's really important. If you're going to have a business, you should also take care of that that part of your business, because it's really important. You don't know what rules you might be breaking or who might want to take advantage of you because of some rules that you do not know about. Really important. You mentioned that you shouldn't treat your business as a hobby. It's how serious you take it. That's how seriously other people will take it for you. So don't treat your business as a hobby, because it is actually a business. She said so many other things, and I'm sure that we really learned so much from that session. That marks the end of all of the sessions, but we have a few questions. I know I saw a question in the Q&A. So this is how it's going to work. If you have a question, please use the Q&A feature. Just put your questions in the Q&A so that we'll be able to take your questions from there. I can already see one person. Sheikh Mohammed is asking, if data-driven decisions are the gold standard in business, does that mean intuition has no place in entrepreneurship? When have you trusted your gut over the data and have been right or wrong? Mohammed, you did not say who should be answering this question. So I'm not really sure who to direct this question to, because you didn't particularly ask who is supposed to answer this question. But I think that it was Lonel that talked about data-driven decisions, if I remember clearly.
Yes, I am the
Yes.
culprit.
Yes, Mohammed is the first speaker. So this question is for you. If
Okay.
data-driven decisions are the goal, did you get the question or should I repeat it?
No, I'm happy with his question. I can see it as well in the Q&A.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect.
So, okay, data-driven decisions are the gold standard. Does it mean intuition has no place in business? I would say no, right? It definitely, running a business is two things, right? You've got the data and you've got your own intuition, you know, to say like, is this the right business partner, especially in the aspect of relationships? I think sometimes we need to also understand when to use what. So you cannot just be running a business based on intuition. No, you know, this thing, it's going to work. I feel like it's going to work, because intuition is like a gut feeling, right? But we have to be able to combine the two. I always say, and I think Genevieve also echoed it, you have to know your numbers. You cannot make a decision when you run a business. There is information like which customers are the best paying customers, which customers you should not be doing business with, which suppliers are the right suppliers, which products you need to use. So I always say that the numbers tell a story, and they tell you a story of when you followed your gut and you said, I'm making this decision, what does the data tell me about the decision that I took? So if the data is telling me when I trusted my gut and I made this decision, the data will say, yes, it was the right decision. But it can also tell you that you're making decisions based on your intuition or what you think your gut is, but the information is telling you something else. You could be passionate, have a vision saying, yeah, no, Lagos is where I need to be. Lagos is where I'm going to be dominating. And then you get to Lagos and Lagos is dominating you and not the other way around. So you need to be able to understand that data is a support, it's an enabler, it's a tool. So if you're not investing in making the right decisions using the data, it will not allow you to be able to, I guess, make the right decisions for the next level of growth. You can only take your business as far as the information that you have at your disposal to be able to scale and grow to the next level. I just want to say again, we cannot lead businesses in the dark. You need to be able to use the data to guide you with your decisions and see, when I did this, when I executed on plan A in my strategy, what does the data say? Does it support that does this strategy work? Okay, if it doesn't work, then you get to pivot. But when you don't have information and data at your disposal, you could find yourself making the wrong decision or running a business in a way where you could have pivoted a long time ago, and then you've spent time in a market where you actually could have invested those resources in a completely different market or completely different product line. So I would always say that intuition and data, they go together. They are not mutually exclusive.
All right, thank you very much, Lena. We actually have another question for you. I'm trying to get the question. It's in the Q&A box.
Yeah, I see it, yeah. The one from Alex.
Yes, from Alex David Pratt.
Whether the ones you mentioned in your stack. Okay. So I just wanted to explain. Thank you, Alex, for the question. So how I like to look at an app stack, right? Or how you decide on what technology to use. I always say technology, if you think about it, I'll give you an example of a client that we have. He's a photographer, right? And this client is a one-man person, basically. So what he decided to do is that he cannot afford to have somebody work for him. But what he can do is the admin part in terms of getting clients in, he can kind of streamline that by using technology. So what he did was, he has a website or his social media page where you can go click on a link. That link will take you to the booking page. When you get to the booking page, you can choose, and everything is there. I want a photo shoot for 30 minutes. I want this backdrop. I want this lighting. And he even has an explanation for all of these things, right? You then book, confirm a time. When you make the booking, that system integrates with Xero, which is the accounting software. The system will generate an invoice, send you the invoice as the customer. You pay the invoice, it feeds that information back into the system to say that the invoice has now been paid. You then get a confirmation of when you need to show up. On the day you show up, you have your shoot. After you're done with your shoot, he updates the system to say this person has completed their shoot. You then get a link, you choose your pictures, you get back 3 days later, your pictures have been sent to you. So can you see, with you using technology to streamline your processes, you've taken away so much inefficiencies in your business. Now, you can say if someone wants to book you in Lagos or whether someone wants to book you in South Africa, you can use that same system and replicate it. So that's why I always say an app stack, you have to look at what is the nature of your operations as a business and what do you need to streamline. And for me, a key thing is you have to use a cloud accounting software that is comprehensive. Invoicing, understanding your numbers, profit and loss. So there has to be a cloud accounting software, and the systems that you use should allow you to integrate it into that software so that you streamline your operations.
All right, thank you very much, Linnell. Just one last question for you in the chat box. Kennedy's asking, did you face challenges while registering ELIC as a company? And if any, how did you overcome them? And thinking because you did register in the UK, is asking for that particular reason.
Okay, is it at the bottom somewhere? I haven't seen it. Okay. The question is, did I have any challenges registering the business in the UK? No, I did not have any issues registering the business in the UK. I think one of the things that it's almost like we are limiting ourselves before we've even done our research about it. So registering a company in the UK as someone who's not a UK resident is very easy. The challenge I find that with doing business while based in South Africa, in the UK, is that wherever you're physically present for a longer period of time, it's easier for you to have an impact. So I think the challenge in the UK market has been that in the UK, people are not as the people in South Africa or in Africa, right? Well, you can't really just smile to someone in the street. They'll be like, are you crazy? What's wrong with this person? So you have to deal with the people dynamic. And the best way for you to kind of penetrate the market is to actually be physically present and build networks. So what I've done this year as a strategy for ELIC is there's like this exclusive business club of entrepreneurs and investors and other founders that basically have created a space for them to get together. So it's about then deciding where to strategically place yourself in a new market where you can have access to people in the ecosystem that will help you penetrate into the market so that you can easily then expand. So I always say relationships and partnerships are a very important part of running a business and also scaling a business. So it's very easy for you to register, not just in South Africa, but even in other countries. I think we just sometimes overcomplicate it for us. But what's very important is that before you register a business in a new market, try and establish relationships, connect with people online, attend events, with the people that are on this network, connect, because you never know where your next opportunity could come from through the networks that you have.
All right, thank you very much, Ellie. Somebody's asking if they can get access to your slides. Is that possible?
Yeah.
All right, so you would have to send it to us and then we'll share it with the group. All right, thank you very much. That is very generous of you. We have a question here for Dr. Nkem. I hope Dr. Nkem is still with us in the room. Let me just confirm very quickly. Well, somebody's asking, how can technology be properly utilized in execution of projects in the decoration industry? I'm not particularly sure that Dr. Nkem is still, okay, I think she's still here.
Yes,
Dr. Can you hear? Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
All
Please,
right.
can I get the question again?
The question says, how can we utilize technology in executing projects in the decoration industry?
Okay. It's very simple. First of all, you need to know where you're coming from. Are you an interior decorator
or an interior designer. They are two different fields. An interior decorator has limited strength. You don't need to go, how would I say it? You don't need to go too intense. Yes, but an interior designer can work with the architect. You need to collaborate with the architect for you to be able to use technology, design, present a 3D to your client. You need to work with the engineers. An interior designer is not an engineer. No matter how experienced you are not an engineer. So you need the aid, the help of other vendors. And with so, you can actually work with technology. The engineers, they know how to put these things in place. The architect, they know how to put these things in place. They work with their system and print it out. They work with their system and also share. You could share files with either your client or the artisans. So working, designing with the technology is possible. It's really possible. Then another thing again, for a starter, I don't know if you're into the interior, but for a starter, I won't advise you start going so deep because you might be entangled. You might feel overwhelmed. What you do, I don't know if you have this thing in your phone. You can easily download Pinterest. You can download Pinterest. Pinterest can help you with designs that you can share with your clients, and they will see the picture you are trying to create. You can start with that. From that, then you can now, progress into using technology to create designs. We all know they can use technology to create designs. Even your phone, you can just use your AI, turn this space into a living room, and it's there. But the truth is that an interior designer is different from an interior decorator, and is also different from an engineer, also different from an architect. So you know your boundaries, you know your strengths. And if your client is demanding for you to use technology, the best bet to do is to collaborate. The best bet, like for me now, I work with a lot of engineers. There are some designs they will ask us, there are some questions they will ask. I don't just act as if I know it all. I go for a meeting, I work with my team, I call the engineers, I call the architect. How do we do this? How do we create this concept? So can technology actually aid our design? Yes, it can. It can.
All right, ma'am. Somebody's also asking if you have a training center in Lagos.
Okay, we don't have in Lagos. We have currently in Asaba. But what we do, like yesterday, like last year, we did a country tour. We went to Zimbabwe, we went to Ghana, Tanzania. Yeah, we're able to cover 3 countries last year. By the grace of God, we are still planning. We are thinking of having an in-country tour, like, exploring different, yes, you're smiling, yes. We're planning on it, come to Lagos, Abuja, could just do 3 days, master class, taking it from the scratch, telling you how it's supposed to be, then offering you a free mentorship, because in as much as we'll get you into the field, like, having a 3 days master class, it won't really do the magic. It can't do the magic. We need to mentor you. We need to mentor you and see that you grow. So it's in consideration. When it comes out, we'll put it on our platform.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much. We have questions for Dr. Jessica, and all the questions seem to be asking one thing. Dr. Jessica, I hope Dr. Jessica is still with us in the room. But let me just ask the question so that in case she's here, she'll be able to.
Yes, I am.
All right, perfect. So they're asking, the market is so unpredictable and fluctuating, especially in Africa. How do we balance sustainability with growth? This person is asking, how do you also balance sustainability with being core to your identity, staying true to your business's identity?
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for that question. So for me, I would say, and that's where the point of diversification comes in. Yeah, you're not depending on a single source for your business. You have multiple businesses across various sectors. But also, number two, now we all know that every year we sort of encounter various things that are unpredictable in the market. So how do you stay ahead of that? You need to have those strategies in place that enable you to sort of be able to sort of handle this type of risk, or either overcome this type of risk. So that's also quite important for you to stay sustainable in the African market. But key point is also to keep up to the market trends and changes, yeah? Because when you are aware, or when you have a heads up of maybe this is how the market is going to look, then you've already prepared, instead of being in a shock when things happen. So yeah, I hope I've answered the question correctly.
Yes, ma'am. Someone is also asking how they can connect with you after the meeting.
Okay, sure. So I'll just leave in my details in the comment section, but the Pan-African Youth Leadership Foundation also has my details where they can also share with participants who can connect with me.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much. We have a question for Mr. David Jang. Mr. David, I noticed he was still here with us. I hope he's still here with us as well. Ibrahim is asking, how can startups leverage emerging technologies that are currently impacting different industries, like AI, blockchain? How can startups take advantage of such emerging technologies?
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. I mean, emerging technologies are here and they're here to stay. So you got to jump on it, or someone who jumps on it will take over your business and your customers. And I think what we should ensure we do is we look at what is the best fit for us. Right now, there are lots of platforms that you can use, but which one is the best fit for you? But one thing that you should never compromise is your creativity and your innovation, because that also beats these technologies. But what you should always do is use it, but use it in a creative way, wherein you use AI, but let your creativity lead, in the direction of how you use these technologies. If not, you go for answers with these technologies. If you do that, everyone can go for the same. So you realize that AI works based on input and output. So the input you put in, a lot of other people are putting the same input. So you're getting the output. So how you have to use it is you have to use it in a creative way so that it gives you an output that is unique to you and to your business. But one thing you should not compromise as entrepreneurs is your creativity, but use AI, use it wisely. I hope this answers your question. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We have one more question for you. Muhammad is asking, how do you inspire a risk-averse team to step outside their comfort zones without resistance?
I mean, going beyond your comfort zone, takes risk. And I think one thing we have to understand is that human beings have potential. And our potential, our hidden potential, can only be explored beyond our comfort zone. So we have to create an environment where it is okay for people to fail, where it's okay for people to try. And let's normalize failure. Let's normalize trial. When people fail, let's encourage them, because failure is the first step to success. So when people fail, we encourage them. They have that ability to do more. So how we really move outside our comfort zone is by the environment that we create. We should create an environment of creativity, of rewarding creativity, welcoming creativity. And once we do that, you realize that people will go beyond their comfort zone because they don't fear failure, or if they fail, they know that they have that support system within the organization that will help. But growth is beyond the comfort zone. Outside your comfort zone is where you have growth, is where you have innovation, and we should exploit because we have hidden talents that we have to show and give to the world.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Davy. That's all the questions we have for you in the Q&A box. We also have a question for Ambassador Genevieve. Claudine is asking, what do you think is the best way to win the market once you have a good product or service? And how do you think is the best way to attract social media followers once you are doing content? Ambassador Genevieve, I hope you heard that question.
Yes, I did. Once you have a good product, another way to scale it is marketing and advertising. I would use my hand wash and hand lotion brand. Now, we already know that that's not literally a thing that anybody would want to go into because they feel like that market is already saturated because every other person or foreign brands have theirs and people import their products from outside the country. Get a good videographer. If you invest in a good phone, first of all, if you feel like you cannot make professional videos with your own phone, you can get someone to do your videography for you. On Instagram, Reels move or sell themselves faster than when you post an ordinary picture. So Reels gets you more views. Reels is like Instagram's way of pushing your page or your product or your brand or whatever to people who do not follow you. And again, it comes back to what I was saying about hashtags. When you put the appropriate or the right hashtags on a product video, it pushes it to the explore page. And now your explore page is made up of a lot of people that don't even know that you exist. Consistency is key too. So just because you feel like you made a good product doesn't mean that you should stop advertising it. When you invest in a good video for your product, it's something that you can always keep using. If you post it today, post it tomorrow, post it today after tomorrow. Even if you feel like people are not responding to that, don't worry, just keep posting. One day you would realize that somebody is looking for someone who makes this particular product and wants to buy it in bulk to give to other people. It doesn't have to be today. Just consistency is key, but you also have to be patient to invest in good videos. If you cannot get a good phone for yourself, get someone to do it for you. It will push your product and your brand faster. Another place I feel like a lot of people underestimate so much is TikTok. You also want to push your business on TikTok too, because there are so many buyers there as opposed to what a lot of people think. There's so many buyers on TikTok and a lot of responsive people on TikTok as opposed to Instagram. I don't know if I answered the first question right. What's the second question again, Zaina, please?
The second question is, how do you attract followers once you start creating content?
It's pretty much the same thing. Consistency. Try to cultivate a habit of posting at least one thing on your business page every day using the right hashtags, correct hashtags, and good captions. Sometimes you can do giveaways. Sometimes you can indulge in a Q&A session, like indulge your followers, ask questions that would cause your comment section to be very busy. Instagram sees those things, so they tend to push that content up for other people to see. That's basically just it. There's no logic or magic behind it.
All right, so we have two final questions. One is for you. It says here, what software will you recommend to help cost your food business? Or do you use Excel sheet?
For costing?
Yes.
Yes, I use Excel sheets.
Okay, there are no softwares to recommend?
I use Excel sheets for now. If you're talking about invoicing or sending invoices to clients, I think there are a couple of them. There are some invoice apps now that also help you, with all of that. There's Bookkeepy, the Zoho invoice, all of that helps you. I think they have some other features in those apps that help you with costing, how to track your expenses and all of that. I mean, apart from Excel. So yeah.
All right. And the final question, this final question is for Dr. Jessica. So thank you very much, Ambassador Genevieve.
Thank
So Dr.
you.
Jessica, you have a final question. It says, how can a newly established and relatively inexperienced firm attract seasoned experts to join the team? And how do you ensure that you bring experienced individuals into a young firm? How do you ensure that bringing these experts will strengthen the firm rather than overshadow the firm? Dr. Jessica, did you get my question?
Yes, Zainab, I did. So number one is understanding where you are at that particular moment. So it goes from listing down what you want the experts to bring in your organization. Yeah. Say maybe you need accounting expertise, or it could be maybe production expertise. So you list down, yeah, what is lacking in the organization, what this new person would be able to bring, and thereafter you sort of structure their roles, responsibilities, because that's what you'll be using to track down those performances, yeah, when they come on board. And that also will guide you when you're onboarding this particular person to join your organization. So rather than you, the business owner, thinking that they're coming to overshadow you, no, they're coming to help you. But what are they coming to help with, or what are they coming to add in your organization? That should be listed by you, the business owner, along with your team. Where are you at the moment? What is missing? What will this person bring in my organization? And how can I then measure this? Yeah, that's it from me. I hope I've answered that question.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. That marks the end of our Q&A and essentially the end of this session. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience, and a sincere appreciation as well to all of our speakers. They took their time, they shared with us generously, they shared their experience, their expertise. These are things that you would normally not get for free because you're getting access to them, but you're getting it for free, and you're getting it in such a very generous manner. So we sincerely thank you and we sincerely appreciate you. Dr. Jessica has dropped her email in the chat box, so you can of course connect with her. I can see that Lonel has also dropped the way that you can connect with her via LinkedIn and Instagram at Lonel Jonas on LinkedIn, and also Lonel_Jonas on Instagram. I can see that Mr. David Jeng has also dropped his link tree, so you can just click on the link and also connect with him via social media. You can also connect with Ambassador Genevieve, so just type in Ambassador Genevieve. That's what I did on Instagram, and you would get the name. And also Dr. Nkem at FreshStart_Interiors. So you get to connect with all of our speakers. You can send them messages. You can just get a feel of what they're doing and continue the relationship from there. Also, we have the link for I wouldn't say it's an attendance link, but it's the link where if you input your name, we're going to be able to send you certificates for this training. So that link is in the chat box. I'm trying to see if I can pin it, but I can't really see it at the moment, but the link has been dropped in the chat box. So please fill in your name so that you can get a certificate after this training. Before we end, we're going to take closing remarks. We're going to take closing remarks. Just a minute so that I can pull up my colleague who is going to take the closing remarks. I believe that he's still here with me. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ola Williams Adekunle from Paylef to help us take the closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Zainab. I believe I'm audible enough for everyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah, so it's been a wonderful day listening and learning from our great speakers and entrepreneurs all across Africa. Yeah. Personally, I have learned a lot from everyone. We've had knowledgeable sessions, we've had ideas, we've had thoughtful conversations on different aspects of business and being an entrepreneur. From the first speaker, Lionel, to Dr. Ikem, yeah, to Dr. Jessica, to Mr. David, and to Mrs. Genevieve. Thank you so much. I must appreciate you. I really appreciate you. You have done so well bringing life to the topics that were handed over to you. We really appreciate you. And I must extend my appreciation to everybody who had participated, all members of the audience. Yeah, those who asked questions, those who listened attentively, and those who engaged in the chat box. Everybody, I must say a big thank you to you all. It's really not easy, being in a session for over 2 hours. Yeah, but you've shown your dedication to learning. You understand? So that's a really big one. And I'm sure moving on from now, personally, my notepad is filled up with a lot of notes, and I'm sure we are going to be translating these to actionable plans for ourselves. This training is one of the programs, or one of the stores by Paylef, and on the build up to this training, we had an application for a grant, and I believe some of the successful applicants were reached out to, where we had interview sessions for many of them. And for those who will be moving on to the next stage, I would say if you are here on the call, just watch out for your mail. So hopefully very soon you'll get a mail from us. And for every other person also, those who didn't get a mail the first time or those who didn't scale through, I would say you should just be on the lookout. There are several other things that will be coming up for us from Payless. One of those is the upcoming CEO Summit in Lagos. Yes, so it will be a great one, I know, and Payless is known to be impacting in the areas of leadership for the youth in Africa. So on this note, I will say thank you once again for everybody who has participated in this, and I hope we get to take the lessons from this session to our businesses. I hope to see everybody at the top of their game in their businesses. So thank you once again, and to our beautiful moderator, you've done so well. We appreciate you. It's really a nice one with you. Thank you so much for leading the course of the discussion. So, and to the CEO, actually a big thank you to you all too. So that'll be all for me.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ola Williams. That was very, very impactful and packed. Thank you for that very warm appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you can connect with us via social media at Pan-African Youth Leadership on Instagram and Pan-African Youth Leadership Training as well. Be sure to connect, be sure to stay connected, because like he mentioned, there are many other opportunities for young entrepreneurs, young leaders in Africa. And on this note, I say thank you once again. My name is Zainab Aderomu, and it has been a pleasure to host this session this morning. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye, everybody.